Vivian channel.
Hello everyone, I am Vivian. I'm from Taiwan. Today I would like to discuss an autoimmune disease, Myasthenia gravis. I myself is MG patient and have lived with this disease for 33 years. But now MG treats me pretty well. I have into a remission stage around 27 years. I would like to share my experiences with you, and hopefully this video can reach others who are suffering and struggling right now. It's always hope, and remission is always possible.
33 years ago, when I was 17, I went to ophthalmology because of eyelid drooping. However, without right direction and there were no pathology, I got misdiagnosis for 1 year. Therefore, the symptoms have not just stayed in eyes, but also affects my whole body, such as double vision, slurred speech, facial and neck muscle weakness, difficulty while chewing and swallowing, weakness in the arms and legs. In another word, the disease transformed worse within 1 year. During this year, my sister took me to several hospitals, and I took lots of wrong medicines, and even asked help from the gods. But finally, I got diagnosed with MG. Still remembering the 3 things that the doctor had told me at the time. First, you need to take medicines for the rest of your life because of MG. Second, this disease can only be controlled, and your condition won't get better. Third, MG doesn't have any cure. It took me 1 year to get diagnosed. However, that was just like an announcement to with me life imprisonment. After I got home, my sister asked me to take a pill. I really don't want to take it. If medication has no work, but I didn't want to see my sister suffer as well. I took the first tablet, which is called Myasthenia. Then I went back to my room and started to write a letter. Actually, my final will. Dear family, when you are reading this letter, it means I'm already gone. I feel painful and stressful to my life. During the past 1 year, I was brave enough to face the disease because I thought that I will get treatments and fully recovered after it got diagnosed. However, when the doctor told me that this disease cannot be cured, I couldn't breathe. Please forgive my unfailure. Hope we can be family again in the next life. I quite desperate and got so tired to fall asleep on table. I want to find a knife after work up, but I feel completely different. I could feel the strength on my body, could open my eyes, and arms and legs got normal. Gosh, who is the miracles from the God? When I was confused about how it happened, all of a sudden, I think of the medicine that I took half hour ago. Could it be the effectiveness from the Myasthenia? Yes, it was the effect of Myasthenia. From the day I started to face MG seriously, but actually that was just the beginning. The Myasthenia only worked a few months on me. Therefore, without the effectiveness from the Myasthenia, I need to go to the hospital frequently. And Taiwan didn't have health insurance at the time. We can't pay expensive medical bills. I had to stop schoolwork and went back home to Penghu. Then my mom taking care of me. Life wasn't easy first, and the MG medicines worse. My mother's life changed completely from the day I got diagnosed. In order to pay my medical bills, mother had to solder her dowries and to borrow money all around friends and relatives. Since the Myasthenia barely is work, my symptoms became severe and even harder to manage than before. In addition to unable to take care of myself, I needed my mom to roll my bed, to take in baths, to feed me. My strength was so weak that I couldn't pull out tissue paper by myself. Within 1 year, I had experienced 7 times of hospitalization, intubations, and got twice critical condition notices. Finally, I was sent back to Tainan by airplane, but the symptoms were too bad. The hospital at Tainan couldn't handle my condition. In the end, I was sent back to big hospital at Taipei by an 8-hour ambulance ride. I was at hospital for 2 to 3 months to manage the MG. Because of the sickness, my weight had dropped to 78 pounds, and my mother she lost her weight for 11 pounds too. She was too worried and cared about me. I couldn't swallow and she couldn't eat as well. At the time, the medical staff there were treating me pretty well. They tried their best to help me as they could. I took so many shots day and night countlessly. I can still remember. It was really painful because there were no bandage needle at the time. I needed shots several times a day, so I was covered by bruises all over my body. After a series of hospitalization and treatments, July 25th was the day to remove thymoma. The surgery has lasted for 8 hours. The doctor told me that thymoma is benign and the size is around the baseball. Although it was still painful around the wound, my symptoms got changed. My facial muscles became normal, which means my eyelids can be opened widely. I can smile or even laugh, and I can finish a lunchbox by myself. 7 days after my surgery, I finally discharged from hospital on August 1st. I always remember that day, and that day was also my 20th birthday. It was the first day of my whole new life, full of happiness and joy. I went back to school as a part-time student when I was 22. Spent the money that I earned to study abroad in both Canada and England when I was 26 and 28. Got married when I was 29 and had my first child when I was 30. To this point in my story, maybe you think everything went well after I took the surgery. Well, the surgery did help me a lot, but not always 100%. The symptoms showed on and off about the first 3 years after the surgery. However, it was not as serious as before. At least, I did not hospitalization because of MG. Although there were several times of relapses because of tiredness or stress, the severity became less and less after surgery. I changed jobs many times due to I couldn't handle it, and experienced several times of unsuccessful relationships because the MG was unaccepted by my ex-boyfriends. I had even attempted suicide. But I have survived from those bad memories. What does kill you makes you stronger. I was promoted to assistant manager at the bank when I was 38. Also on top sales promoted a couple times. I became a top leader and have a very good income. The life became too busy and stressful until my mother got cancer. My husband and I decided to go back to my mother's home to take care of her. So I had to leave my favorite job again. It is the time I needed to do something to repay the kindness of my mother. I feel very sorry for my mother. My husband and I have started our own business when we were 45. After my mother's funeral, I began to learn web design. I used to know nothing about the computer, but now web design is one of my best skills. Nothing is impossible for him who is willing to try. Life is not easy for me, but it's still splendid. I was like a vegetative patient for those past 6 days. Tried to keep myself and didn't have any money to support my life. And there was the time for 7 years that I had taken responsible for all kinds of payments all by myself because my husband got laid off. I even borrowed huge money from banks and my families, and we only eat instant noodle or bread in those difficult times. No matter how hard I'm tried in life, I will live it sincerely because I know there is nothing important than health. The pain and the distresses that I had suffered are the mentions from the God. It is the opportunities that tempt me. All my experiences got shared with others. I created my senior gravis support group on Facebook when we were 45. It has 1,300 more members now. Further, I have begun to visit other MG patients all over Taiwan and became a volunteer in the hospital. I don't have lots of money, but I am always happy and rich in spirit. Hope this short video can help those who are still suffering and struggling now from my 33 years of being an MG patient. The best medicine for remission is in your mind. Then to face the MG, accept it, manage it, and don't let it defeat your mind. I have MG. MG doesn't have me. Looking for someone else when someone don't love you for what you really are. Change your job when you cannot handle it. We can always make money, but we can never buy life back. Believe you cherish when he lost. Encourage instead of bringing, and now our income more than before. All of this, I thank to my husband, my family, especially my mom and my sister. Of course, the healthcare team and all of you.